Fortunately, everyone seems to be content with laughing at each other's jokes and discussing favorite sports teams, and for a while you think you'll be able to get through the dinner without any embarrassing personal intrusions, but no sooner did the thought cross your mind than the table conversation trickles off, leaving a slightly awkward silence to descend upon the dinner. "So, how are you doing these days?" your mom asked you pointedly. Well, it's such a simple question, and one that you seem to have had to answer countless times recently. You take a moment to collect your thoughts, then looking up, you take a deep breath. Well, I think this is the end right here. This was a short episode. While you certainly can't say that things over the past few months have been easy, you're almost ready to let yourself believe that the worst parts are behind you. It may be difficult to see past your self-loathing on most days, but even so, sometimes you can't help but notice that things do seem to be getting better. One of the more difficult challenges you find yourself having to face on a daily basis is your job. In spite of your attempts at positive thinking and other cognitive behavioral techniques, Dr. Melville taught you that the prospect of going into work every morning still fills you with dread and ennui. Fortunately, you've been able to contain these feelings for the most part, and at least you've been managing your attendance and keeping your job performance up enough that you aren't making things worse by getting into trouble with your boss. Your employment situation may be far from ideal, but for now, you're content to punch the clock and collect your paycheck. On some evenings, when you've been feeling particularly motivated, you've even caught yourself hunting through online classifieds and bookmarking some new jobs that look interesting. Who knows? You may not be far from taking a leap and trying for something new. It's been some time since you've hung out with any of your friends in earnest, and now that you feel like you're coming out of the woods, you're beginning to feel self-conscious about having alienated them over the past little while. You realize that much of your flakiness and subsequent withdrawal was largely a result of trying to hide from them out of embarrassment. The notion of trusting people with your vulnerabilities is very frightening to you, and in your self-loathing, you realize that your behavior did cut them out. Though it will take a huge leap of faith on your part, you resolve to repair your social relationships. You started sending out casual messages to some of your friends asking to hang out, and for the most part, the responses have been more encouraging than you were expecting. Things with Alex were quite tense for a while after your conversation with her. She really did seem to be taking a more active role in helping to understand your situation. Even so, the past few months tested the limits of your relationship to the limit. Ultimately, you were able to take her advice and step outside of your own head more and more. It was a difficult thing for you to do. Your defense mechanism ran so deeply that oftentimes you weren't even aware of them, but you let yourself trust her as your partner, and your relationship has become much stronger for the experience. Despite all the clear progress you've made lately, you still carry the weight of your insecurities practically everywhere with you, and you even have some days still where you can't do much at all. On these days, it's very tempting for you to slip back into older, unhealthy habits, but much to your own surprise, you've so far managed to avoid a major backslide. You know that you have a way to go before you can feel like your life isn't spinning totally out of control. And even when you do, you'll never ever be rid of your depression completely. But you have a strong support network, and for the first time, you can remember you're actually feeling optimistic. "Things are alright, Mom," you tell her, While you see her mouth tighten in worry, her eyes soften when she sees you smiling. Let's go to the epilogue. Move us up a little. We really want to thank you for taking the time to play Depression Quest. We realize it may not be the most enjoyable game you've ever played, or even the easiest, and we sincerely appreciate your involvement. Like Depression itself, Depression Quest does not have an end, really. There is no neat resolution to depression, and it was important to us that Depression Quest's own resolution reflects that. Instead of a tidy ending, we want to just provide a series of outlooks to take moving forward. After all, that's all we can really do with depression. Just keep moving forward. And at the end of the day, it's our outlook and support from people just like you that makes all the difference in the world. Thanks again. Alright, so I'm gonna scroll through these credits, but I'm not gonna read them. I'm just gonna keep talking. I want to thank you guys for watching these videos. Like I said in the beginning, that this game had a lot of meaning to me just because I have depression. I suffer from it. A lot of what was said in this game is what really happens. Luckily, I found help for it and am doing better. So if you have depression, you should look for help. See a therapist, see a doctor. If you have to, be put on medication. Just, I don't know, look for help. Find it in anyone you can. Talk to your friends. Talk to your parents. Talk to your doctor. Really, anybody you could trust. Just talk to them about it. Let them know, and let them help you. I know this was a long game, and it was separated up into 10-minute parts, but it had a good outcome. I mean, the guy or girl we played as, they never really specified, but they got better. And it says down here in the special thanks area, it says us, it says and you for being willing to play games that are meant to be something other than simply fun. And this game was meant to be way more than simply fun. It was supposed to show you the actual struggle of people who suffer from this illness and how their lives can be turned around just by simply getting help. So thank you guys so much for watching this series of videos, if you watched all the way through. I hope you guys liked the videos. I know they weren't what you're used to seeing, but if you did, leave a like, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Dope o'clock. Peace.